From Massapequa High School on this afternoon, a rivalry is renewed as the Dalers have come marching into town to take on the Chiefs. It is a high-stakes battle in big boy Nassau Lacrosse, and it's all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Today's game sponsored by J&R Custom Landscaping, as well as Breakout Goaltending Group. Well, pleasant good afternoon, everyone. Dylan Butler. I will be joined soon by Tom Rooney. But this is an outstanding game, right? It's the game that you circle every year if you play for Massapequa, if you play for Farmingdale, really in any sport. But this one is special because it's a matchup of two teams that are right at the very top of Nassau Class A this year. When you look at the landscape, speaking of landscaping, right? When you look at the landscape of Nassau Class A, it's a four-team race. It is the Chiefs of Massapequa. It is the Dalers of Farmingdale. It is Syosset and Port Washington. And how those four teams shake out, a lot of it will be determined today. At the same time, over at Port Washington today, we have Syosset and Port. Maybe we could get a live look-in on that one at some point today. We will see about that. But one thing is for sure, we'll know a little bit more about the playoff picture in Nassau A after today's showdown. When you talk about Farmingdale, the Dalers come into this one at 10-3 on the year. It has been a better year in terms of scoring the ball for Farmingdale, and pretty much the same case in terms of giving up goals. They're averaging 11 goals a game, 6 goals against this year. Farmingdale is coming off a loss to Somers, but Tom, when we talk about Farmingdale, it is a team that has certainly high expectations, a lot of returning parts. They've got some young guys as well, but it's a team that is hoping to get back to where they've been the last few years, back to the county final.
Yeah, they say defense wins championships. They're hoping defense can get them to a county championship. They are very, very good on defense, good in the goal. This is a great battle between a tremendous offense and a really, really good defense.
And of course, both teams will say, hey, hang on, we can defend too, and we could also get players to score the ball. But when we look at Farmingdale, let's take a look at their players to watch right now. And on the left side on attack, it is Jack Waters actually running out of the midfield, but a super sophomore for them. And a guy who wears the 40, according to his head coach, like none other, is Michael Galgano.
Yeah, we'll start with Watros, a big, strong lefty who Coach Dunn tells us he just gets to the cage. He's only a sophomore, but he's a good physical dodger. And Michael Galgano is having one of those special seasons. Look at the bottom graphic. I mean, 60 caused turnovers is absurd. They actually went back and checked the tape. Yeah. It is 60 caused turnovers. He's got a great motor, and he's going to have his hands filled today. There's a lot of guys out there that he needs to defend.
So Galgano, the leader of the defense. We bring in Massapequa now. They come into this game 11-2 on the year, an outrageous amount of goals, right? You look at their goals per game this year, it is 16.5. You've got a legit Division I starting attack on this team, and guys behind them who will also eventually be D1 guys. So a lot of college-bound athletes on this team, and you return so many of those players who won a county championship last year, who pushed Hills to the brink in the Long Island Championship, right, and now they want to take that next step further.
Yeah, when this team shares the ball, like you said, they have weapons all over the place. Wieserock, Burns, and Spallina are all just scorers, excellent feeders, just guys with great sticks. And then they come at you in waves out of the midfield. Guys like Milio and Tucker and the younger Burns, and you can go on and on. There's just so many weapons there, and that's going to be a key for Farmingdale. Limit their touches.
The two guys they're going to rely on today, you just mentioned him a moment ago. Dylan Milio has really grown in his body and his maturity this year as a lacrosse player. You see the numbers that he's putting up, really balanced. And on the other side, Justin Farrell, what an outstanding defensive player he is.
Yeah, Dylan Milio, a lefty who's really a do-it-all type of midi, but is really getting it done on the offensive end. Very good athlete. You'll see him play defense. And then Justin Farrell, we feel like we've been talking about Justin Farrell for a long time. He was a great defender as a freshman. It's pretty rare that you get that. And now he's really grown into just another one of these Massapequa shutdown defensemen.
We show you Dylan Milio as well because this is a special fundraiser they have today at Massapequa. It's the Mighty Madison fundraiser. It is, of course, in reference to Dylan's sister Madison, who was beloved here, passed away at age 9 in December of 2021 from DIPG. It's a rare brain tumor, but she has inspired this community, right, with her bravery and leading. They had a street dedication, Mighty Madison Way, over on Cleveland Avenue. There's fundraisers, an annual 5K birthday run, and today is another one of those special days remembering Mighty Madison.
Yeah, and I think Dylan plays with an energy that would really make Madison really proud. She was a fighter, and that's exactly the way Dylan plays.
Well said, my friend. So let's take a look at our starters here for today's game. First, for the Dalers on attack, Quinn Sunday, Lucas Galvez, and Jake Kunz. Your first midfield, and it's an improved first midfield for Farmingdale. It is Schumeyer, Asensio, and Watrous. Look out for Asensio and Watrous. If they can get going today, they could really cause problems. At LSM, we mentioned it before, he wears that special number 40 at Farmingdale a year after wearing 50 for them. Right. So you could tell the kind of character player Michael Galgano is. Wearing 46 on defense is Bolello, joined by Lyons and Askin. In the cage, big Dom Mortalotti, who has, listen, they want a 10-man, right?
Yep.
He's a big boy, but he gets out of the cage well to 10-man.
Yeah, he takes up a lot of cage, but he moves really, really well outside the cage. I love his game. He throws great outlets. You know, he really challenges you to hit corners because he takes up so much cage. And another one, he's going to have his hands full today, Dylan. He's going to see a lot of rubber.
And the head coach, there you see him, Eric Dunn, third season at the helm. The 2002 graduate of Wantagh, played his college lacrosse at Albany. Spent 13 years as an assistant coach under our friend Mike Hungerford. He was the DC. Assistant coach is John Campbell, 16th season. Kenny Garcia, Mike Schur, Colin Jones, a terrific coaching staff for Farmingdale. And
Absolutely.
Now we take a look at the starters for Massapequa. You mentioned at the very beginning, right? Scary, scary good on the offensive side. Wieserak, Spallina, and Burns. Spallina just becoming the all-time goals leader in program history, beating out Ian Kirby, who had that record in 2014. Your first midfield of Tucker, Milio, and Kitterman. Gilchrist, phenomenal at LSM. And then Farrell, Ippolito, and Gilchrist as well, the older Gilchrist at D. And in goal for Massapequa, first year as a starter, improving day by day, it's Peter Konstantinakos.
Yeah, Konstantinakos, not easy to say, but I tell you what it is, he makes some saves look easy. He's a really good lefty. He is getting better, Dylan, as this season has gone on. You know, he's replacing Gennady, who was a 3-year starter here, so he's got big shoes to fill, and he's done a really nice job.
And the head coach of Massapequa, second season, it's Kevin Catalano, the MacArthur 09 graduate, played his college ball at Malloy University. Assistant coaches, Christian Lyons, he's the DC. Thomas Greenblatt worked on the offense. Frank Bagakos with the G. Anthony Parisi with the face-offs, and Sonny Lappy. He is your morale guy. It is Farmingdale. It is Massapequa. It is a renewal of the rivalry that is Pequa and the Dalers. Our keys to the game and opening face-off when we return here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Design, build, and maintain your dream home. J&R Custom Landscaping has been proudly offering landscape design for over 30 years. Give them a call today. You see their number there, 516-250-8461.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
Merrill, oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves. Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email ben@varsitymedia.net.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media @varsitymedia.
Back here at Massapequa High School, Anthem played final huddles for these two teams. Dylan Butler, Tom Rooney, our entire Varsity Media crew. Tom, we spoke with both head coaches before the start of this one, and here's what they identified as their keys to this game.
Yeah, the big thing we got out of Coach Dunn was we don't want Massapequa to have the ball, and that goes through all three of these keys. You don't want to turn it over into clear. You want to make sure you get the clears right. You want to win these 50-50 ground balls, especially at the face-off X, to limit those possessions. And then they want to shoot well. They feel like they've had some good offense. They haven't put enough balls on cage. If they can do that today and kind of match Massapequa's offense, they think they'll be in a good spot. And if you're Massapequa, you know, they understand there's a lot of emotion in this game, and it's a rivalry game. You know, be disciplined and stay together on the defense. And then they like to get out and run, but be smart in between the lines and don't turn the ball over. And then when they share the ball offensively, they're as dangerous as any offense that's out there.
These two teams met last year here. That was an 11-6 win for Massapequa. It was also the mighty Madison Foundation Day here at Massapequa. The Dalers, though, do lead the all-time series 41-32. Time now for the opening face-off, and I think the face-off X, we talk about the offense defense. There's going to be a lot here on this battle at the face-off X. J.J. Damo, the all-time wins leader in that category at Farmingdale against Ryan Chapis, certainly much improved as a junior.
Yeah, two really good face-off guys, and this is a big part of the game here today. For Farmingdale, it's super important that J.J. Damo goes over 50%.
Already looking here on the wing play, Thomas Goodrich, number 50. He's the first short stick D midi to wear 50 for Farmingdale. Damo gets the clean win. Although the GB, that's the key, right? One of the keys you mentioned, it does go to Massapequa.
Yeah, great job by Chabis, and I think it was Gilchrist chasing Damo down and winning it back. That's a frustrating one. That's exactly what Coach Dunn was talking about.
So now this vaunted, prolific Massapequa offense. Our first look at them, 6-on-6. It's pick your poison, isn't it, with these guys? There's Burns. The feed, low to high, and the finish by Tucker.
Great vision here by Burns. Burns got a short stick. You know, he's 6'2", he's lefty. He gets to the middle of the field, sees right through the defense. Watch this roll back to the middle, and he sees the help inside, and you can see a late recovery there by Farmingdale. And Tucker, you know, watching Tucker shoot, he might be the best outside shooter on this team. You cannot leave him open.
17th goal of the year for the senior bound from Maritime. And now Chabis with a clean face-off win. Chabis thinking goal, bounces one, but that one was short. The backup was there for the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's a part of the game that Chabis has gotten a lot better at, with the ball in his stick, attacking the cage.
How about these numbers, Tom, between Wieserak and Spallina? Both guys juniors. They are even on points on the year. 79 points already for both of them. Tucker at the crease. The feed came from Kitterman, and back-to-back goals by Tucker has given Massapequa the 2-0 lead.
Well, this is the second time now that a Massapequa player has gotten in the middle of the field. Kitterman, a natural lefty, gets to his left, and Tucker just follows the slide. Great job by him. This is a little bit of a nightmare start right now for Farmingdale. You know, you win a face-off, you turn it over, you lose a face-off. Next thing you know, it's 2-0.
And both goals by maybe that guy we haven't talked enough about, right, among that group. All the talk is understandably so about Wieserak, Spallina, and Burns, but here comes Tucker burying two early on. Everybody's down. Thought there was a push from behind, and
yeah, we got a 5-car pileup on the 135 there, Dylan, including our ref, Brendan Wallace.
Yeah, Wallace can't call the push from behind because he was pushed from behind.
Yeah.
Everybody has recovered well, which is good.
Dylan, I think we're going to see a lot of this type of play, right, in this game. These guys respect each other, but there's not a lot of love lost between Farmingdale and Massapequa. They're going to get after each other.
Another feed inside. The attempt to Burns. Good pickup by Martellotti, though. And really, already you feel an important one, as now the Dalers will try to figure out getting through this Massapequa ride.
Yeah, I know you felt it too. You're like, you have to clear this cleanly, and they don't.
A whistle was blown, though. Was there a push?
I did not see. It could be an offsides, possibly. Looks like they got a cross-check. Looks like he motioned cross-check 1 minute.
Yeah, so we'll have our first man up now for these Dalers.
So the Farmingdale man up, you got Schumeyer on the left side, you have Asensio on the right side, and you have Watros, another shooter that is lefty. This is something they've worked really hard on.
There's Damo as well, not just a Fogo. He is involved in the offense, has 9 goals on the season. There's the skip, bouncer, and that was wide. So first Daler shot, and that one was by Asensio.
Yeah, nice little set there, the skip to Asensio, who can really shoot it.
Low to low, first save, the rebound, a flag flies. Let's see what we have here. Konstantinakos. It always feels good when you get that first one, right? As will Farmingdale here. Looks like they're going to go up 2 men.
Yeah, you get a little 2-man pass right here. Schumeyer right back. I think you're going to get a late hit here on Antonelli. Yeah, that's what it is. And Farmingdale with another chance here.
Yeah, 6-on-4, at least for a few more seconds here for the Dalers. Both penalties of the 1-minute variety.
Yeah, 6-on-4. You'd like to see them get the ball inside, something easier. That middle wide open.
Up top, Asensio! Bringing the fire from up top.
This is a young man that's just really worked on his shooting. Great skip pass here up top. Watch Asensio get his feet set. He has shot the ball really well this year and better as the year went on. I think that was Jake Kunz on the feed.
A much-needed goal for the Dalers for Asensio, goal number 24 of the year. Senior bound for Adelphi.
Weird how that felt important, right, this early?
Yeah, for real. And it might be a little bit weird for him to join all those former Chiefs out of Delphi as well.
Yeah.
There was a hold off the face-off, so Massapequa possession. They are still down, though, so you figure they'll possess. Actually, now 2 more come on. So we are even.
Yeah, you got the second midfield here. Enright with the ball, Gargiulo and Dernan. Going to play a little 2-man behind with Rocco Spallina.
That's a bouncer, and that's wide of the mark by Spallina.
And we're seeing more and more of that, Dylan, this year. You know, Rocco was primarily a catch-and-shoot guy. He's evolved a lot, and he's doing a lot more dodging this year. This guy's always dodged.
Yeah, for good reason. Look at the size from Nolan Wieserak. The skip to Burns. Sidearm shot is high and wide.
Yeah, that height and that size gives him the ability to feed over the top.
He will join his brother in the A10, but on different sides. His brother over at UMass. Good stick check on that attempt. So Tyler Burns will join the older Wieserak, and then Nolan will be over at Richmond.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about a lot of colleges with these guys.
Here's Burns. Another good knockdown. And that was right at the end of the shot clock. It looked like there was a hesitation. Do we want to call a push here or not?
Yeah, we're going to let that one go. Yeah, Bolello, he knew it too. He threw his hands
up.
up.
He tried to pull back a little bit.
Yep, he sold it well.
Here comes Big Dom.
Oh, yeah.
Mortalotti. Why not, Big Dom? Wasn't close, but you get an A for effort on that one.
Well, we know the crowd enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. That's good stuff, Dom. We appreciate it. Smart play, actually, right? Make it look like a shot. You back it up. It's safe.
Here comes Watrous.
This is a good matchup. 2 good sophomores there who actually play together over the summer, Watrous and Gilchrist.
And that pass off the mark. Good scoop. Loose ball still there. Burns battles.
50-50 ground ball. Let's see.
Burns had it, at least momentarily. We expect to see a lot of this, right, in this rivalry game.
I think we got a timeout. Nice timeout here by Coach Dunn.
As we said, 2 major Nassau Class A games. We have, obviously, this one, and let's take a look over at Port Washington now. Look at this.
We got the live looking, huh?
And a live looking at a live goal as well by Port.
Let's see here. Oh, they're fired up. You got the defense down, celebrating with the offense. This is senior night at the pit. I could tell you, because I've coached Port for a bunch of years, this is exciting for them.
All right, walk us through this little step down.
Yeah, that looks like the senior. I think that's Jordan Levine, maybe, number 9.
So that's a big one. Again, we said at the open, right? It is a 4-team race. Massapequa, Syosset, Farmingdale, Port, however you put them. And Dunn said, too, like, we expect to see Massapequa again.
Right.
But you don't want to see them in the semifinals, right? You want that to be the county final. So this game is big. Their game against Port Washington is going to be big. They had that loss to Syosset already.
Yeah, listen, Massapequa was the one preseason one for a reason. They've established themselves as probably the premier team. Farmingdale is going to challenge that theory today, but that game over there has a lot of playoff implications, and that's a cool live look in there by Varsity Media. That's awesome.
And hearing in our ear from Chris Sweeney that Syosset just had a quick response, so that's 1-1.
Oh, we're all over it, Sweeney.
Would you have come in as hot as you did there as you did here?
Probably not. I might have been a little bit easier on the North Shore.
All right, so off that nice timeout you mentioned, Farmingdale, here's Asensio. He's got the Dalers' lone goal to this point. There's Watrous. Excuse me. 15. Sunday.
So Farmingdale's offense traditionally very, very patient. You have Asensio, Schumacher, Watrous as the main initiators. And Coach Dunn was telling us he'd really like to see Asensio with a short stick, and that's what he has now.
Little bull dodge. The fake to his left, and that shot just wide. And a flag is thrown as well from behind.
I think the referees have decided that we're going to call this tight early. We're going to make sure that this rivalry game does not get out of hand.
So we await the call across the way. I think was another signal for a cross check.
I think so.
So this will put the Dalers up a man for a minute again. They cashed in on their last opportunity with Asensio with the rocket from up top.
And they gave us two different looks, Dylan, but essentially it was the same idea, which is get the ball behind, skip it up top to one of the shooters. It was Asensio last time. Let's see if they change it up and try to get either Watrous or Schumacher involved.
Asensio up top. You look for cutters.
Here come the cutters.
The look goes to Watrous. That's a tough one to feed inside. Good slide by Massapequa. Here comes Watrous. The bouncer will go! Man up, goal for the Dalers, and we're tied at 2.
Yeah, good recognition by Watrous here. Watch, they're going to skip it up top to him. And the approach is, just not quite there. It gets to the middle. You don't normally want to encourage a dodge on man up, but that time it got him right to the middle at about 10 yards, and he's not going to miss from there.
Well, you heard one of the keys from Catalano, right, about we got to be disciplined. And these early penalties so far hurting Massapequa, right? 2 extra man goals for the Dalers.
That's a great point. You've given them situations where they don't have to score on you 6-on-6.
And it came when Massapequa had the momentum.
Absolutely. Here's
Good DB by Milio.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about. Watch him glide. He's such a good athlete. Does a little bit of everything. Plays with tremendous energy and heart. I really like his game.
And he plays for a mission as well, right? Playing for his sister. And you heard the words, too, last year from Catalano where, once Milio came up on varsity, that was a rallying cry. Let's do it for Madison. Let's do it for Dylan. And it kind of got the team even closer.
Yeah, you can get a lift in different areas. And, sports is an emotional game. And when you bring in some emotion, it can help a team tremendously.
A lot of emotion there for that ground ball. They'll say it'll be a push against Pequa. And here come the Dalers the other way. Look out from behind. Goodrich pumps the brakes. Good feed there from him.
Yeah, and we see Goodrich wearing the number 50 awarded to a Farmingdale player. I'm sure you'll talk about that a little bit.
Oh, the high heat. Double deuce, Sean Schumacher.
Yeah, let's talk about this a little bit. Great job in this unsettled situation. Schumacher's been getting the pole. He sees a short stick, and he's like, I'm going. And what a spot he hits. Look at that. Schumacher, probably their most talented offensive player, has rarely seen a short stick this whole year. And that was a little bit more of that aggression, right? They're doubling. Massapequa is on the sideline and allows Farmingdale to move the ball and get Schumacher a shorty.
So they got 3 goals on 6 shots for Farmingdale. Again, 50-50 battle. This one still loose. Gilchrist had it a moment. What do we got?
I think we got a timeout, Massapequa. Yeah,
you could see how much these guys are valuing these possessions early on.
Yeah, we don't always see a lot of timeouts in the first quarter, but every possession right now feels big.
Let's take a look at what we have coming up here in the Varsity Media Sports Network. Senior Day at St. Anthony's. Where I mean, how many? Like 37 seniors, maybe? I'm not sure.
I think it's 27 seniors.
It's a ceremony that will start at 10:30, maybe end around 11:30. I'm not sure, but we'll have St. Anthony's and Stepanak, the final regular season game there. And then on the other side, New Canaan, always a solid program up there in Connecticut. They and Darien, year after year. It's almost like St. Anthony's and Chaminade. They always wind up facing each other in the championship game, and they just exchange who wins that one. But New Canaan, St. Anthony's girls, that is a 3 o'clock start. Both of those games right here in the Varsity Media Sports Network. And then we look forward. Some of us have already looked forward a little bit to Wednesday. Chaminade, St. Anthony's at Hofstra. We will bring out all the bells and whistles. We'll have the camera on the end zone. We'll have the camera on the sideline. Soap and I in the booth. You'll have the rosary around your hands praying for a Friars win. But what's going to be great, too, about this one is it appears at least, knock on wood, there's still a game left for both teams in the regular season. They're both getting healthy at the time you want them. You want full squads, if at all possible. I know Chaminade's got a little bit of a situation at the face-off X. St. Anthony's has all year. But you got Gillis back. You've got the guys for St. Anthony's who, even if they weren't out injured, dealing with injuries, they had a week to get healthy. So that should be a lot of fun.
Always a great game. Always.
All right, off the timeout. There's Wieserak. You always wonder about matchups in a game like this, right? About this great Massapequa offense against this stingy Farmingdale defense.
Yeah, and I like, great share of the ball right there. Great pass.
Another loose ball, another GB, and it goes to number 40.
Galgano with a great GB.
Now the ride back by Massapequa. They get the ball back. Ooh, just missing Wieserak. And Wieserak was hammered as well by Galgano. Here is Goodrich. Remarkable, right? Like all the 50s. And he's the first short stick D-midi.
Yeah, it says a lot about Thomas Goodrich.
Look at that! The heater! Today is Wednesday, but that is Quinn's Sunday. That's Thursday. I just screwed that whole call up. Regardless, Sunday delivers.
Yeah, no doubt. And this is a guy that we talked about with Coach Dunn. He needed to get the ball on Cage. So, okay, Coach Dunn, I'm going to put it right into a corner on the run while I'm getting chased. I mean, the catch alone was unbelievable under pressure. It's a great job of going to the ball. All young attackmen, don't wait for it. Run through the pass. Continue to move your feet, and good things happen.
Yeah, attack the ball. And how about this start for Farmingdale after a 2-0 deficit as quick as it could be? You wondered even in that case, would Coach Dunn use a timeout? And now you've got a 4-2 lead.
Yeah, this is, you talked about matchups. This is a good matchup here.
It's Wieserak and Bolello.
Yeah, Bolello can match Wieserak's size more or less, and he's lefty, which always is a little more difficult for these righty attackmen. Really good matchup we'll be watching all day.
Here comes Wieserak. 34 goals on the year for Nolan. Up top to Burns.
Yeah, Massapequa just seems to be kind of searching, like, where is the right matchup here?
Dern in the feed and the save by Martellotti.
I think Wieserak got to the right spot in the middle of the field, just didn't put it in the right place on Big Dom.
And he'll take that all day. Was able to see that right up into his stick.
Exactly.
Ooh, an errant pass. Schumacher unable to get to it. The GB picked up by Gilchrist.
Yeah, those are the really frustrating ones. Nice job by Pequa. This Pequa team just will not ever let you settle down. They chase you. They challenge you all over the field. And a lot of that is the depth that they have, Dylan. This is, for a public high school team, a tremendous amount of depth that they can roll out.
Inside the final minute now of quarter number 1. 4 unanswered for Farmingdale. Here is Spallina. The feed, the spin.
Another takeaway. Galgano with another takeaway.
Get to the big dom.
I mean, that is a slide. Ooh, that's a tough spot.
Wieserak. A late flag as well. It looked like Brendan Wallace kind of wanted to see how that whole thing played out.
Yeah, we gotta push there. You see, it's a tough spot on the field to throw it, and Wieserak just gets caught hitting him. You see the back of a guy's jersey, you have to just let up. I think he's still a little frustrated over that shot, but if you're Farmingdale, this is a nice little end of the quarter. It's a 30-second penalty. You got 25. Worst case scenario, if you don't think you have a great shot, you hold it and you start the second quarter with the ball.
Yeah, because Chabas right now winning the face-off battle. He's won 6 of 7.
Right.
So,
but if you're Farmingdale, I mean, you've run. I think you've scored on 3-man ups here today, Dylan. So, run your stuff. See if you can get a shot. It was Asensio. It was Watros, right? So, and it looks like they're going to be content maybe to just hold this.
there's Schumeyer. They want to get out and try to pressure a little bit. No problem there. So the first quarter will come to an end. There'll be about a 5-second man up for the Dalers when the second quarter begins. Here comes Quinn Sunday.
Little cherry on top here, Dylan. To his left, bang, right in the corner. And he should be excited. Dalers 4-2 after 1.
Second quarter next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Brennan O'Neill, and you're watching Varsity Media.
Design, build, and maintain your dream home. J&R Custom Landscaping has been proudly offering landscape design for over 30 years. Give them a call today. You see their number there, 516-250-8461. Back here at Massapequa, Dylan Butler, Tom Rooney, our entire Varsity Media crew here. Start of the second quarter of this rivalry showdown, and it is Farmingdale with a 4-2 lead. 4 unanswered for the Dalers. You look at some of the stats at the end of the first quarter. Massapequa's got the edge in ground balls. They're doubling up Farmingdale 8-4 right now. They've won 6 of 7 faceoffs, but you mentioned the man up, right? 2 for 2 for the Dalers. And Farmingdale has put 4 of their 7 shots behind Konstantinakos.
Yeah, and I think the story of the first quarter was maybe a little lack of discipline, a little overhypeness by the Massapequa team and putting Farmingdale man up 4 times.
They did that against Port, but Port wasn't really able to hurt them the way the Dalers have here early on. That's a bouncer by Asensio off the mark. Guy who's generating his own shot. He's a dodger, a shooter, a feeder. He can play defense as well. Asensio this time sets the pick for Schumeyer. Sunday, GLE, that lane is closed. Shot clock violation against the Dalers.
Yeah, great defense there by Massapequa. Disciplined, but tough on the ball. That was Justin Farrell. So good.
And now Massapequa. Stepping in was Kitterman. He gets to the Tucker. Tucker with both goals to this point for Massapequa. And it's funny when you have a matchup like this, and I'm sure both coaches think the same, there's a possibility, wherever that game might be, in the semis or the finals, that you'll face each other again. So you don't necessarily show everything, do you? As that one skimmed off the crossbar.
Yeah, I think there's an element of you got to have something, right? You got to have something for the second round matchup. I know when I coached, I always felt that way. You kind of play the first one straight up, and then if you have some tricks up your sleeve, you wait for that rematch game.
Yeah, if you have an ace in your hand, you maybe hold that as Spallina missed. Look at the diving attempt, but a crease violation is the call. Kitterman's goal is no good.
Yeah, I like the instincts by Kitterman. He found that bouncing ball. Unfortunately, he stepped in the crease before the ball went in.
Now the Dalers get it across. Here's Lucas Spano, number 99.
Yeah, Farmingdale has settled down a little bit in this clear, done a better job. A little reckless early.
Spano, along with Goodrich, has done an outstanding job as a short stick D-midi this year. So he gets the clear, he'll come off. And there is Watrous. Here comes Asensio now. High pass, unable to connect with Schumacher.
Yeah, it looked like they double pulled the midfield. That was Ippolito, the Manhattan commit, bumping up to play Asensio.
And now the Dalers will 10-man here.
Nice ground ball there by John Askin.
Yeah, Askin filling in on the starting D.
Yeah, John's a very good athlete, always has been, really concentrating on his approaches and his stick work, and you saw he did a nice job right there.
Step down, that took a deflection, and then it went off the post. That's Dom Antonelli spinning. And now here come the Chiefs the other way. In transition. Tucker. Low to low. Big Dom gets down.
Dom gobbled that up. The minute, we had a good view of that, the minute Burns dropped his stick, Dom dropped down and just gobbled it. I think you're going to have to change your level to beat Dom today. Here we go.
Dunn said, I've seen enough of this act. I'm going to call a timeout here.
Dom, I love you, not as a Dodger.
So Farmingdale, they'll utilize their final timeout of this first half. You take a look at some of the history, Tom, with this Farmingdale program, and you see the 15 county championships, 5 LICs, that one state title, but they came so close, right? Back-to-back years in the state final. First year of lacrosse, 1966.
Yeah, I still say that Matt Danowski's senior year, that team, Panarelli and Lamb and Brennan and Engelke, and you can go on and on. There were so many good players. I think that was the best high school team I think I've ever seen, and I believe they hit a crossbar late that rebounded the other way, and they wound up losing by 1 in the state championship. But just a perennial powerhouse year after year. Led so many years by Coach Hartraft, who was a tremendous, tremendous coach. And then our buddy, the great Mike Hungerford, takes over, and they don't miss a beat, get to a state championship. We know our Mike goes out west and retires, and what has Coach done? He takes over, and he goes to a state championship. So they've been on the precipice of multiple state championships, and they do a great job at Farmingdale High School.
You mentioned Danowski. How about a 3-time All-American, right? 01, 02. and 03.
I don't know if you could find a better high school player than Matt Danowski.
Panarelli was at 02 All-American as well.
So Massapequa came out last time. They double pulled the midfield. This is Farrell bumping up to play Schumeyer. Looks like they got another pull on Watros, so it's going to have to be Asensio that really attacks his matchup, and here he goes.
That's exactly what he does. Asensio saved. That's an important one for Konstantinakos to get.
Great job by Konstantinakos to stay on the pipe.
Here comes Ryan McLaughlin. Great size by the senior bound for Geneseo.
Yeah, he's got a lot of upside, huh? Big, and fast. He's got the lefty hold there as a D-midi. Good-looking player.
Here comes Kitterman. Can he take advantage? Thought he might for a second. Spano recovers well of the substitution game. It's whipped behind to Cipollina.
You know, the first two possessions, it looked so easy, and it was, you know, 2 dodges, 2 passes, and 2 goals. You wonder if Massapequa almost got lulled into a false sense of this is going to be an easy afternoon, because they've had a bunch of them. They're going to refine their offense here.
A great ground ball by Burns off that takeaway. Wieserak, Spano all over him, harassing him. The feed to Burns. Gets hammered in front. Low shot goes wide by Spallina, and then no backup for the Chiefs.
Well, first you get the great look by Wieserak over the top. So good at it. Burns gets hits as he shoots, and then Tucker there with the backup. He misses. Farmingdale dodged a couple bullets there.
Look out, here comes Spallina. Look at the effort by Rocco. Chases after Big Dom off the bar. This game has gotten wide open and frenetic. Spallina surrounded by Dalers. GB picked up by Wieserak.
Yeah, great hustle by Rocco Spallina. All great attackmen. Hustle on the ride, right? He hustles, he pressures Lyons, and then he hits the pipe. Listen, it happens.
And it feels like that kind of half right now for the Chiefs. After such a promising start, here's Milio. I'll tell you, on a day here where you're remembering Mighty Madison, a Milio goal would really be a juice goal for Massapequa.
Without a doubt. That is great defense over there. I believe that was Askin again, just harassing Milio and forcing that turnover.
We know so much about the Dalers ride, right? The 10-man ride that they have, and there's a flag, and this is going to go against Spallina. Got the stick high on Galgano.
Yeah, great adjustment by Farmingdale, putting Galgano away from the box where the ball normally goes, and let Galgano handle. He handles and runs over and draws a penalty.
And now if you're Farmingdale, right, you can keep this ball for a little bit. You're going to have a man up as well. Here's Schumeyer. Schumeyer flips it. Asensio, one more. Ooh, that could have been another flag. That one looked like it was from behind.
Yeah, good sharing of the ball there. Schumeyer to Asensio to Kunz, and then a huge save.
So this will be, I believe that was a 1-minute slash was the call. Usually those calls come towards us at the press box. It's opposite us. So we're not seeing the signaling as well as we would like, but believe that's a 1-minute slash on Spallina.
Yeah, that one I think we saw pretty good. That
Yes.
one, some of them we're not sure. That one, that looked pretty obvious.
Dalers 2 for 3 on the man up.
Yeah, they've gone heavy to the ball behind. Look for the skip. I think you're going to have Damo probably feed, so you're going to look for the lefty shooters. You got Schumeyer here. Oh, good look.
And the finish inside. Lucas Galvez. Terrific look brought by Damo, and another man-up goal for the Dalers.
Yeah, they've been going to the skip, and I think that held some of these top defenders from Massapequa. Watch, the feed is great. The handle is outrageous. Galvez, my goodness, what a handle.
For the Manhattan-bound junior, goal number 9 on the year. Damo picks up his 3rd assist, and now it is 5 unanswered goals by Farmingdale. Damo dives down to keep that ball alive. Great ground ball picked up as well.
Thomas Goodrich, he has such a knack for those. Great job. Galgano will go here if he can. Oh, we might get another one.
And we will. I think it's a trip. And if it's a trip, it's a 1-minute man up.
Yeah, you got Gilchrist. You know, he misses on a check and he gets his stick onto Galgano's feet. It's a trip. It's, you know, the home crowd doesn't love it, Dylan, but it is a trip, and it's going to be a 1 minute. And this is, you know, one of the things that they talked about is kind of control the motions and play the game, right?
And Tom, even if Farmingdale doesn't cash in on these man ups, and they have, obviously, they're getting the ball, right?
Absolutely.
And you're keeping the ball away from Wieserak and Spallina and Burns and all those great players who score so many goals for Massapequa.
Right. Limit touches comes in a variety of ways. This is one of them.
So 3 for 4, Farmingdale man up.
So they're going back to the same look. Watch the skip over the top now.
There's Damo. Another look. BTB! Yes, sir! Galvez! Another man-up goal.
Well, I think, you know, Damo, like right here, you're going to see the Massapequa defender leave Galvez because he's thinking skip too. I think that was O'Connor. And Galvez with no angle does the best thing you can do when you have no angle. Increase your angle with your stick. Doesn't matter where your body is. It's where your stick is. Gets the head of the stick behind his head, finishes behind the back.
Galvez, like so many of these other Farmingdale attackers, right? Gritty, they're riders. He's got good vision, crafty, the lefty. And he's now got 2 goals, back-to-back for him. Another ground ball. Galgano has no desire to get it, wants a piece of his defender instead. Here comes Milio the other way, lowers his shoulder, spins and just shoots it wide.
Oh, that was what you were talking about. If he hits that shot, this place goes crazy. Little surprised that they didn't call a push on that face-off. I think the crowd might have influenced that. They are not thrilled with the officials right now. But I feel like this is the first time we're going to see 6-on-6 offense in a long time for Massapequa.
And there's Milio up top. And your natural inclination then is to speed things up, and you can't really if you're Massapequa. But then again, when you got a shooter like Tucker, why not? But Big Dom makes the save.
Yeah, and I think Tucker is a tremendous shooter. I think Coach would say we can get that shot maybe not 10 seconds into our offense, not after giving up that many goals.
Galgano pushes it downfield. It'll go right into the stick of Konstantinakos.
And I think this frenetic pace right now favors Massapequa.
Burns calling for it, and he'll get the ball. He is the captain, the leader of this Massapequa team. When this game is over, Tom, you'll see him. He'll pick up the pylons. He's the guy who comes in here and plays the music. He sets the tone for this team as Kitterman now gets it to Tucker. Here comes Milio. Pumps the brakes, Milio. Now it's Spallina. All eyes always on 91. Here's Burns. They go behind. Wieserak. Wieserak! A much-needed goal for Massapequa.
Dylan, I was just going to say this is the best offense they've run. Multiple guys touching the ball, being aggressive, and then moving it. And then when you do that, what you get is you get a dodge where you don't really get a slide because everybody's recovering. And for a lot of guys, going away from the cage, not a great shot. When you're that strong as Wieserak is, you're going to score on that.
35th goal of the year. Point number 80 for Wieserak. And Brian Soper always likes to say not all goals are created equal. That a big one for Massapequa.
Does he say that on the soapbox with his Eloise soap? Or
Face-off win by Chavis.
No, and Soper's right, and you're right, Dylan. That is a much-needed goal. It was 6-2, but my goodness, it felt like Farmingdale, and they were on a 6-goal run. So a settled-down goal for sure, and now it gives them a chance to cut into this lead again.
Tucker spins inside the final minute as it's Milio stings it wide. We invite you folks to stick around at halftime for our first segment of Rooney's Rookies, the Professor.
Oh, baby. I had fun trying to find these rookies making impacts all over the island. Lots of guys, by the way, Dylan.
Here's Milio, draws a slide, Burns. Nice fake to Tucker. Tucker spins, lefty rip, Tucker! Hat trick for Braden, and it's back-to-back goals for the Chiefs.
Another really good offensive set, multiple touches, unselfishness. Burns here, Tucker. Again, because everyone's touching, you got long slides, tough recoveries, and Tucker showing off that he's two-handed.
So 37 seconds left. It's now a 2-goal game. If you win this face-off and you get another one, let's say, you go to halftime. You're like, we did all these things wrong, and it's a 1-goal game.
Yeah. This is a big face-off right here.
And Damo wins it. Damo! Full goal! Dalers!
Hot Damo. That is a huge goal. Pinch, pop, picks it up cleanly. I mean, he's got Chavis all over him. Chavis looks like he's twice the size of him. Watch him get up on his toes. Just drills it. Tremendous by Damo.
I will say this about JJ. Like, he doesn't necessarily win all the face-offs, but when you need it, when you need one, when it's the fourth quarter, it's a tight game, you need to stop momentum. He finds a way to get those.
Yeah, not all face-offs are the same either, right?
That's right. Ground ball picked up by Milio. Final 22 seconds of this one.
He could go here. He's got the speed.
Milio! And one!
On Mighty Madison Day, Dylan doing it for his sister here. You can see with a head of speed, this is just absolute determination, and that's the kind of kid he is. Starts with a ground ball. He ran about 60 yards to score the goal.
And he took a slash as well by, I'm not sure who it was, but he did take a slash. I thought for a second it was Galgano. Galgano's out there. So now you have a 1-minute man up for Massapequa. So this is a man up face-off for Chavis.
Yeah, possession here would be huge. Most likely whoever comes up with it will have it for the second half.
Chavis didn't want to get called for the push. Knew he had an extra winger. What do we have?
Great timeout by Massapequa.
So they'll have the ball with 6.5 seconds left. We showed you some of that history of Farmingdale. Let's take a look at this history. So much of this is kind of in the last, 20 years or so,
Yep.
where Massapequa really, led by Pat Radomski, really, went to a different level, a different stratosphere.
Yeah, you had Pat playing for his dad, Tim, and I think back to Matt Zash, who I think was maybe in modern times, really the first great player that I saw out of Massapequa, tremendous player that went on to Duke. But this community really pumps out youth lacrosse players, drives kids into this high school ready to play. Just a really good program, and you can see by the Nassau County Championships and, 2 state titles. And listen, if they were going to be honest, they tell you they feel like they're built to win another one this year. They got all the pieces. Really, really talented group.
You mentioned Zash. He was that same era, right, as Danowski. You mentioned in 02, All-American, the midfielder, and then you got so many great guys after him, Burge and Tierney and Nick Turn and Petrakis, the Double G Express, Garrett Gibbons. Some fun teams.
Yeah, Petrakis was automatic at the X.
So now Pequa will hold this one so they won't have to worry about a face-off to start the third quarter. So we know one thing is certain, Tom. We won't have this to start the third quarter. We won't have a Fogo goal.
Yeah, it's Damo with the pinch, the pop, and then with Chavis all over his back. Let me get a little taller. He gets up on his toes and hammers it. Farmingdale weathers an early storm and takes a 2-goal lead into halftime.
We'll have first half stats and, of course, special programming here at halftime as well with Rooney's Rookies, all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Design, build, and maintain your dream home. J&R Custom Landscaping has been proudly offering landscape design for over 30 years. Give them a call today. You see their number there, 516-250-8461.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
We welcome you back to Massapequa High School at halftime here in this rivalry renewed. Farmingdale and Massapequa Dalers with the lead. We welcome you into our booth now. Dylan Butler along with Tom Rooney here. And listen, the soapbox has drawn so much attention.
Yeah.
He's had 2 of them and already has a sponsorship. So I'm not sure. Pressure's on you now. Maybe Scholastic can come in with something, I'm not sure. But it is time for the first Rooney's Rookies. How you feeling about it?
I feel great. Well, first, I clean up nice, huh? Look at that. I appreciate
and you heard that. The bell has rung, so class is in session here.
Yes, I am a teacher, and, I'd like to teach everybody, about some of these young guns. It's actually really difficult to make the jump from JV to varsity or middle school to varsity, and we have a number of kids over the island that are made that jump and making big impacts where they are. And I try to put this list together. It's a jumping off point, Dylan, because after I put it together, another 8 or 10 kids came to mind. So this will be the first of probably a couple. So let's do it. Let's unveil the Rooney's Rookies.
Yeah, so part of this rule here Tom, is these are first-year varsity players. You could be a freshman, you could be a sophomore, you could be an 8th grader.
Right.
But it's your first year on varsity.
So we'll start with Aiden Dale at St. Anthony's, running first line, tremendous athlete, huge impact on that team. And then over at Chaminade, you have Ben Haristopharadis, just a tremendous player. I think he burst on the scene for Chaminade. They didn't even know how good he was going to be. Then you got the lefty goalkeeper out of Smithtown East, C.J. Stein. There's a question mark coming into the season, and the sophomore has been spectacular. And then you got this three-headed monster here at Garden City. And when you're the number 1 team, public school in the country, you get 3. So you have Michael Ferrucci, who's played a little bit of both for them. You have Jeffrey Fennell, Coach Fennell's son, coming off a knee injury a couple years ago, who's just really grown into his body, a tremendous player. And then in goal, maybe a question mark going into the season, Zach Salakis has been tremendous. Over on the other side of the wood stick, you have a lot of young guys. We picked Will Mondiello and Peter Weston, 2 guys that are fearless when it comes to dodging and scoring, and have done a really nice job for that Manhasset group.
And great bloodlines, of course, with Will and his brother Mikey, now at MIT. Wore that special number 32 for Manhasset.
Yeah, and looks like Will's headed in that direction, right? And then over at East Islip, you have an 8th grader, right? An 8th grader jumping into the cage, playing the schedule that Tommy Zumo in East Islip plays. Luke Rochford really does a nice job, the big body lefty.
And we saw them against Massapequa on the Varsity Media Sports Network. This is an 8th grader, fills the cage, and against all of that firepower, stood his own.
I was so impressed with him that day, and he has been consistent all season. He's got a bright future. Another spot that's really tough to be a young guy is the face-off guy, and Jack Reiser at Northport has been tremendous. Very, very good athlete. He's got a huge future. And then another face-off guy, Matt Acevedo over at Syosset. They came into the season with Aiden Cleary, a Division I face-off guy. He breaks his wrist in, I believe, the second game, and Acevedo has stepped in and been outstanding. So this is the beginning of Rooney's rookies. So
if you're in this class and you forgot your notebook, first of all, shame on you. Second of all, that's fine, because we're going to put this up on our Instagram, and we'll also flash here on our screen a link to your Instagram. So you want people, you want the communication, right? You want the feedback, good, bad, or indifferent.
Aunts, uncles, right?
Yes.
You know, brothers, sisters. You forgot my nephew, my brother, whatever it is. And we'll do the research, and we'll put them on Rooney's rookies if they are deserving. It's a huge thing to make that jump. I really think it's impressive, and all the great teams are able to find those young guys and really, complete their team.
My favorite part of any class I've ever attended, the bell at the end. Class is dismissed.
Over.
Good job by you, Tom Rooney. We'll take another quick break, and we'll have our first half stats opening, or I was going to say opening face-off. There won't be one. Start of the third quarter when we return to the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
Back here at Massapequa, just about set for the start of the third quarter. Let's quickly pop in, Tom, some first half stats here.
Yeah, and I think what jumps out at me is you have this face-off dominance by Massapequa. 10 of 13 face-offs, and you're down 2 goals. You don't normally see that.
And you have the 17-9 edge in ground balls.
And that usually goes with the ground ball. So I think that the story of the first half was the aggressiveness and a little lack of discipline of Massapequa. Farmingdale goes man up a whole bunch of times. The late rally by Massapequa, great job by them, and now they are man up.
Yeah, the Dalers 4 of 5 man up, and this is the first look at Massapequa with the extra man as they start the third quarter with that advantage.
Yeah, I would tell you who to look for, except this is a pick your poison man up. They have so many weapons.
And that's the problem for any defense right now. It's the Dalers' problem when you're a man down against this offense. It was Wieserak cutting to the cage, lost it, and Big Dom picks up the loose ball.
Yeah, nice job of scouting right there by Farmingdale. They kind of knew that was coming.
Yeah, that's one thing that Catalano said, right, about Coach Dunn, is you knew he'd have like a 10-page itinerary on everything to do against us. Great stick check by Gilchrist. Antonelli hammered by Goodrich. The physicality ramping up. And we'll have a loose ball push. Massapequa ball.
And I think that should clear the penalty, so we should be all even here right now.
First half individual stat leaders for Massapequa. It's Tucker with 3. Wieserak and Milio with 1 apiece. For the Dalers, Galvez with 2. Then it's Sunday, Schumeyer, Asensio, Watrous, and Damo with 1 apiece. JJ also with a couple of assists. There's Milio. Now Spallina, look at that cut to the cage. Question mark dodge. Bounced it wide. And where are we going to go on this race to the ball? And they'll say Dalers ball.
Yeah, that was John Askin with the hustle, standing right over the ball. Hard not to give him that one.
I like what Spallina did there too, right? Took away Martellotti as an option, made him go sideline to sideline with the poles.
Yeah, that's a difficult pass always.
So was that one by Martellotti. But it's a ground ball picked up by Schumeyer.
Gilchrist all over him. Gilchrist might get him, and he does.
Oh, he also gets a flag, which will not, the guys in stripes not endearing themselves to the Massapequa community here.
No, I hope they parked far away. Not happy. That's a tough call. Gilchrist so good with his stick. Got under Schumeyer. Looks like they're going to call a hold. Might have just kept it in there a little long.
So this Dalers man up, which has had 4 goals, 4 of their 7 on man up opportunities. They'll have another look here.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the man up. They've given some different looks, fed with righties, with Kunz skipping it over the top to Asensio.
And that's been the common, though. Like, the common denominator has been the skip.
Right.
It's gone to Asensio up top where he hammered it. It's gone down low with Damo and Galvez. Here is Damo now. Watrous. Sunday step down. Nearly went into Konstantinakos' goal. Big save there by Peter. Now Farrell looks to try to clear. Milio. Great change of direction by Milio. Lowers the shoulder. Milio trying to go top corner.
He is impressive. You can just kind of see it right from the midfield that he's got a head of steam and he's going to go. I think he's a lot faster than people realize. Got it.
Burns, baby Burns. Big goal there for Tyler.
Chief goal number 21, Tyler Burns.
You know, you talked earlier about what a great kid he is, and, you know, this is a young man who works really hard at his craft. He's an excellent shooter with his feet set, and what he's showing you here is this on the run. Look at that spot into the bottom corner. Cutting this lead to 1.
And that's one of the things his coach says that he loves to do, right? Loves to lower the shoulder. He brings the physicality as Chabis. Clean win. Forced the feed in. Burns missed it, wants to call inside. Doesn't get it, but Massapequa gets possession. Burns, a future gorilla. I think he'll fit in nicely up there.
Yeah, hit by Galgano, the future gorilla. They'll have something to talk about at orientation.
Like, bro, what were you doing there?
They'll probably wind up being best friends, you know.
The feed off the bounce to Wieserak. Slide came his way. It bounces out now to Burns. Burns. He draws Askin. Jump shot, finish.
Chiefs goal number 13, Luke
Gargiulo.
And it goes to Gargiulo.
Yeah, you're going to see great job by Burns playing with his head up. Draws a little slide. Gargiulo just goes backdoor, and that's a great finish. Up on your toes, and you hammer it. And you can feel Massapequa now kind of getting their mojo, winning face-offs, sharing the ball. Started with Burns, now Burns to Gargiulo. Go to your senior.
Yeah, Gargiulo bound for Binghamton. QB1 in the fall for that great Massapequa football team that won another Long Island championship. Here is Sunday. Chased by Chabis.
Good job by Sunday getting out of trouble there.
And now Goodrich.
See Gilchrist there. I mean, Gilchrist is a caveman with a stick. He's a hunter-gatherer, right? He hunts the ball and gathers ground balls.
Great save there by Konstantinakos. The rebound, though, stays. The ground ball picked up by the Dalers.
And I think if you're Farmingdale here, you got to run some good offense. Burn a little bit of clock. Give your D guys a break. Feel like they played a lot of D to start this third quarter. Find the short stick matchups. Asensio.
And you can't get it to somebody's feet like that. Good pickup, though, by Asensio. But the way the ground balls are going and Massapequa leading in that, you got to be clean with those passes. Asensio kicks it up top to Galvez. The shot clock, unfortunately, is facing the field from us, so we don't have a vantage point of it. That's a great pickup by Joe Brooks.
Great defense there by Brooks. Farmingdale looked like they might have something going there, just couldn't connect the passes. And this is a dangerous part of the game. This Massapequa offense starting to heat up, getting more touches. When you have an offense like this is where, like, when you're getting the ball more, right, you start really feeling it. Everybody's touching it, and it just starts to flow.
Burns looks off. Getting topside and under. Tucker still with it. Tucker! How did he get that shot off? The fourth for Tucker.
Tucker doing a little juggling there. You see him here, gets top side. He toe drags, loses the ball, pops up, just stays with it. Right? Kid knows how to score goals.
There were like 4 Dalers around him.
Yeah. Popped it up in the air like it was, like a contest, right? Like horse. I'm going to pop it, catch it, and shoot it.
And also give my team a lead. 8-7 now for Massapequa. Demo violates on the face-off, and you're right. Now you go from, 7-5 down, and now Massapequa. They started strong in the first quarter. They start strong in the third quarter here. Another opportunity with this offense. 16.5 goals per game they score.
And we talked about their depth, so now they're on their second midfield. That was Gargiulo on the drive. Now Enright. You got fresh bodies out there.
Look at the roll. It was an inside roll. It was an outside roll. It was a jelly roll. But Wieserak gets the finish.
Yeah, Massapequa's on a roll and Wieserak's on a roll.
Look at this.
Watch this. Whoop. I'm going to go
Hang on.
inside roll. Nope. Whoop. Go top side. And just so big and strong, he just pins Balello down there. And you know, Galgano slides underneath, but he's not there anymore as he rolls back to the top side. This is danger zone right now for Farmingdale. You need a possession.
36th goal of the year, second of the game for Wieserak. Chavis won it forward and gets the GB. Great job by Chavis.
Yeah, really impressed with Chavis. That part of his game's gotten really good. This is tough.
There's that man again. Wieserak. Give him a hat trick.
I said this is tough. The minute you give this guy a head of steam like this and you don't close the gap right away, it is trouble. This time keeps it in his left hand, tough angle, but with his size, he's right over the top.
The future Spider, and what a year Richmond had this year in the NCAAs. They will host just your normal, everyday first-round game against Duke.
Of course. Yeah, congratulations. You're the, 4 seed or whatever it is. You get Duke at home. But we know Coach Shamati is a great recruiter, and his ability to get Wieserak is tremendous.
Yeah, you already got Gavin Creo as well, the former Chaminade great, doing great things down in Richmond. We do so many of these games, and I don't know how many guys it feels like we're saying are bound for Richmond. That guy is bound for UMass, and Burns another, and Massapequa heating up at the right time.
Yeah, nice take by Spallina, gets trail checked. Watch how fast Wieserak gets this ball out of his stick, looks over the top of the defense with his size, and we talked about Burns' ability to set his feet. He's as good of a shooter when he sets his feet as anybody on the island, and with that size, he can really stretch a defense.
So Burns gets his second, 23 on the year now. He's got 2 and 2. And Wieserak with 3 and 1. Now, was there a foul?
Yeah, it looks like we got a dead ball. Something after the...
Was there some chirping going on? Well, we didn't see it, but it's going to be no face-off here. Well, there's still confusion over at that table across the way.
Yeah, we're guessing a little bit, so it doesn't look like it's going to be a man up.
Well, there's no face-off. That's why I thought.
Just possession.
Yeah, they'll be 6 on 6, so.
So it's a violation where Farmingdale gets possession, and Farmingdale will take it. Chavis has been on a roll here in the second half.
Yeah, Chavis has won 14 of 16 now. Excuse me, 14 of 18. There's Asensio. Farmingdale did a great job of flipping the script in the first half. That guy had a piece of it, but Asensio, the trail check, I think it was Antonelli who got him. And now we come the other way.
Farmingdale great out here with numbers. You got Antonelli trailing. Farrell really talented with his stick.
Burns the skip to Wieserak. Now we'll slow things down.
I love that. I love the way Massapequa pushes the pace there. Really challenges you to get in the hole and play defense. And then they're able to get their top midi group back on here.
It's like you hit that light, the red light on Sunrise, right? All of a sudden, let's slow down a little bit.
Yeah, and they're having success 6 on 6, so why not?
Spallina goes low, and Big Dom, That's an important save, Tom.
You got to stop the bleeding somewhere. Spallina, not a guy who gets stopped often.
And he's also not a guy, and there's still a lot of lacrosse left here, Tom. He's also not a guy that's usually kept off the score sheet, right? He has been on a scorching hot run of late, but still nothing yet for Rocco. No goals, no assists.
Yeah, a lot of record breaking in the greater Spallina family lately. Joey up at Syracuse, Rocco here at Pequa.
Ooh,
you got
maybe
numbers.
the sub game here. Asensio, the fake, the bouncer, can't stand to Nakos. And then a little error in the clearing game, but great save by Peter. Yeah, little birdie tells me that Rocco Spallina is the USA Lacrosse Northeast Player of the Week this week.
Congratulations to Rocco, well-deserved, tremendous player. And I talked about earlier, he's really evolved his game, works really hard at it, puts up ridiculous numbers. When you look at the numbers, Dylan, I mean, it's like video game numbers.
And none of it is forced. Just same like Joey, right? Like it's not, he doesn't have to get his. He's equally happy to feed, and we saw what he does in the ride. Loose ball, Konstantinakos picks it up. But you look about the goals record, that was Ian Kirby. What a great player he was.
Excellent.
For Massapequa. And that was in 2014. It took that long to break that record. As that bouncer was wide, possession stays with Massapequa. And you think of like the all-time record, I think it's 240 points in that area. Wieserak and Spallina, they came into this game, I think, around like 187 career points. So they can both chase that next year.
Yeah, we'll have fun with numbers next year for sure, because these guys both really know how to play the game. They share the ball, shoot when it's their turn, surrounded by a lot of good players. They got face-off guys, and you know, I get the feeling they're going to go deep into May and into June with this group.
Yeah, last year they kind of went back onto the map, right? Like, hey, Massapequa Lacrosse is back, and this year they became the hunted after last year. But Burns is like, you can hunt all you want, but we are here, and we are here to stay.
Yeah, great job by Pequa running this two-man game behind, and it's got Farmingdale very confused. They don't switch, and Burns is certainly not going to miss from there.
And so often we see the connection with Wieserak and Spallina, right? But today it's Wieserak and Burns.
Yeah, and it says a lot about Wieserak, who's, listen, if you're open, he'll throw you the ball, and that's the kind of player he is. And today it's been Burns.
12-7 now, the lead. My quick math will tell me that's a 7-0 run from being down 7-5. Final minute of this quarter, and they have shut out the Dalers in the third.
And I think if you're Farmingdale, with the eye and the idea of we may see these guys again, it's important to settle down here and get some stops. You don't want the last memory to be, you know, a Massapequa runaway game, right? You want to, listen, they went on a run. If they're able to hold this and win, that's fine, but you're not going to run us off the field.
Well, Askin certainly has that intent there as battling with Burns. Burns fakes the scoop. Not quite hidden ball trick territory. Ball goes out to Wieserak. He could sting it from there, no doubt. Does have an attempt off his back foot. And this one will just be sent down by Martellotti with 1.5 seconds left. Will this bouncer go? It will not. But what a third quarter by Massapequa. Especially by this guy.
Tucker, a little whoop-de-doo. Wait, where'd it go? I got it. A little juggling act there for Zero. Agent Zero. Great quarter.
Agent Zero has 4. End of 3. You're watching it all on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Back here at Massapequa, getting set for the start of the fourth quarter here is a 12-7 lead for Massapequa over Farmingdale. This is one of two big battles. When we get a chance a little bit, when we have a stoppage in play, we can maybe take a live look in at Port and Syosset, that other game that is a big one, a lot of playoff implications, being told by our director, Chris Sweeney. 10-6 is the lead for Syosset in that one. Make it 11-6. Ground ball picked up by Gilchrist, and here's Farrell. That went in and out of the stick of Dylan Milio. Gets it back, spins, and fires it just wide.
I'm really impressed with the long poles of Massapequa and their ability to handle the ball. Farrell, Gilchrist, Ippolito, the other Gilchrist, O'Connor. These guys run the field. They handle the ball well. It really helps this Massapequa team get out and run and get into transition.
And Farmingdale, they've not scored a goal since that second quarter.
Yeah, let's credit the Massapequa defense here. Really settled in the second half. Was back on their heels in the first half with a lot of those penalties.
And that's the other thing you have to give them credit for, right? Playing more disciplined, not having that parade to the box like you saw in the first half. And that's helped them come back and then take the lead here. Here's Schumacher. Senior captain bound for mercy. Nice fake, Constantinakos. A tremendous save. Right on the doorstep to deny Kunz.
And another ground ball by Milio. Off to the races. This has been fun today. He attacks the cage out of these situations.
Shot out of a cannon there was Kitterman. And he shoots it wide.
Great job by Massapequa on the secondary break there. Milio pushes the pace, forces Farmingdale into that tight formation to cut him off. Kitterman comes out and he's ready to fire.
And I love what Dylan did there too. Didn't force it, right?
Right.
You could feel like it percolating in the stands. You want another Milio goal, right? And he might still get one. Another toe drag, another shot wide. That is Tucker's play right there. Over and back against Massapequa. So we've seen Pennell come up with a question mark dodge. That was his go-to. Maybe Tucker with that toe drag.
Here's Watros.
And Constantinakos. He was up against it in the first half, and he has come up with some tremendous saves. Because you figured any of these goals goes in for Farmingdale, now they feel momentum switching.
He's done a much better job tracking the ball in the second half, Constantinakos. I think his defense has given him shots that he can get a good look at, which is a huge help. And they've limited the rebounds. And Farmingdale has been sort of one and done on offense.
They slide to Milio, gets it to Tucker. Flag is down, so this will be a man up. Free possession as Spallina tries to go low. Denied there by Martellotti. And as we get set for this man up, why don't we take it? Can we take a live look in? Do we have that? Let's head out to port. And there's a live look at the logo. You never know. You never know what you get on a live look.
Yeah.
Is that Ben Turchin's handy work on the camera? He loves logos.
The logo looks great, Ben. Thank you. Here we are. Okay. Yeah, well, there's one of Rooney's rookies right there, number 16, Matt Acevedo. It looks like they're getting ready for a face-off, so that's his specialty.
11-7 there. 12-7 here.
You know, when we said these four teams are kind of all grouped together, we'll get a little better picture after today as to what the playoffs will look like.
Yeah, you would expect, barring any major upsets, for the Big Four to make their way to Stewart Stadium. Here is Kitterman. Kitterman just wide. But it's a matter of like who's facing who, and then there's matchups, right? Like who matches up better with who.
Yeah, the Syosset Farmingdale game went to overtime. That was a Brody Waxer overtime winner. They're pretty closely matched. I don't believe Farmingdale has played Port yet, right?
That's coming up.
That's hanging out there.
Their next one before they take on Cold Spring Harbor. Look at Martellotti. He dropped the stick and like looked at Rocco like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah, Rocco's going to see Martellotti in his nightmares, right? He scores all the time, and Rocco's had his number.
And again! Spallina's like, I'm tired of number one in green.
Yeah. And Rocco's done a nice job. I mean, he's been peppered with shots here in this second half. A lot of them really tough ones, too.
Not getting that one. That was a great spin and finish by Enright.
Yeah, you'll see this. The best part about this is this little stick fake to freeze the defense. Right, he comes around, he sees there is no backup here at all, but there could be help right there from the wing, so he freezes them with a little stick fake and just turns the corner and finishes.
And the thing there is, too, right, if you're a defender, it's Wieserak there, right? So you kind of hedge. You're like, right. Well, I got to probably play him.
Don't think you want to leave Wieserak out there on the wing.
Right. So that's to your point. It's a pick your poison moment there. This has been a fantastic response from Massapequa.
Yeah, and 33 Chavis is a big part of that. You know, he was pretty dominant in the first half. Damo got him for that, face-off goal. That was a big momentum push for Farmingdale. But Chavis has done a really nice job here, and we have live stats here.
Yeah.
How do we get live stats?
That's from our buddy Mike Hungerford. And there's no delay from the West Coast to here either.
He's got his toes in the sand and his iPad out, and there he is.
Now, listen, I'll show you. Folks at home won't get a look at this, but listen, he's locked in for this game. Don't think he's like having like avocado toast and a mango smoothie. I'll show you the picture in a moment. The look, pole goal denied again. And Rocco, he's like, finally.
Yeah.
Finally solved Big Dom.
Great offense here by Massapequa. You got O'Connor here with the pole. They get him caught trying to sub. Big Dom makes the save, but when you're a goal scorer like Rocco, you know how to smell these opportunities. Look at him. He's like, oh, finally.
So I'm gonna show you right. This was Hungy pregame. Dialed in. Has the helmet.
Farmingdale helmet on, his Farmingdale jersey in the background. I'll tell you, when you're a Daler for life.
And he also just texted me. He wanted to apologize. The live stats portion of our broadcast is over. His computer died. So we do appreciate the effort, though, from Hungy, no doubt. Jabus, Big Dom, the denial. And look how quickly he gets it out. You coaches, that's like all you kind of talk about, right? It's like rinse and rip, like make the save, get it out. Make the save, get it out. That's exactly what Martellotti did there. There is Brady Gilchrist. Loses it. That's what happens a lot of times when you deal with number 40 on the other side.
Oh my God.
14-7. Massapequa has doubled up Farmingdale with 9 unanswered goals. When you look back to last year's matchup, that was a similar time of year, early May. That was an 11-6 win for Massapequa. Remember Matt Pettis now at Albany, 4-2 for him. Tucker and Wieserak with 2 goals apiece. Gennady, you mentioned him before, 13 saves in that one. Asensio with a wide shot. For the Dalers, Dean Cott had 2 and 1. Josh Kama got downhill, got 2. Matt Hughes in goal for Farmingdale that day, 12 saves. That game was tied 4-4 at the half, and Pequa outscored the Dalers 7-2 in the second half. So a similar script written here today. Inside roll. No, says Konstantinakos.
Tremendous save. That was, I believe, a kick save. Great move by Kunz. He inside rolls, and Konstantinakos showing off a little soccer skills there with the kick save.
And Asensio showing off his two-way ability with that takeaway. Here comes Kunz now again. And Schumacher goes high. So he ends this 9-0 run with his second of the game.
And I mentioned this earlier. I really do think it's important that Farmingdale finishes this game strong. If you do face them again, you don't want your guys to have that feeling of the third quarter run. You'd like to have the feeling of, you know, we had a bad quarter, but we finished strong and we could play with these guys.
And that's the thing about the deal. One thing you know, whoever is coaching, you wear the uniform, you play to the final whistle. So these guys are going to battle. There's no, that's in their DNA, right? That's how they're. That's how they're built.
You're right about that. It doesn't matter if it was Coach Hartraff, Coach Hungerford, or Coach Dunn. If you don't play hard, you don't get to represent the Dalers on the field.
But to your point, you want some good execution down the stretch, right? Like you want to, maybe you lose the game, but maybe you lose it by 3. Wieserak says, no, I have plans on extending that lead. That is his 4th.
I mean, Wieserak has shown such a variety of ways to impact this game. He's got a number of assists. This is the 2-man game off the wing. A little slap check is not going to do it. I mean, that's on the run from about 12 yards, and he just sticks it in the corner. He's a problem.
Yeah, so now within your big 3, you've got 8 goals and 4 assists.
Yeah, you want to get those guys the ball. Great ground ball by Galgano. So good.
And then Tucker's got 4 outside of those big 3.
Dylan, I was watching film on Massapequa, and Tucker really jumped out at me. He's not the biggest guy. You know, you look at Burns and Wieserak, guys that are, 6'2", 6'3". Tucker is on the smaller side, and I'm telling you, he might have the best outside shot out of all of them. He can really sling it.
Timeout by the Dalers. This is the NCAA tournament time.
Love it.
So, our minds are always on the college game. Let's take a look at some of the next level guys first for the Dalers.
So you start with Ippoliti, the backup goalie right now at Syracuse, had a tremendous career for Farmingdale. Caden Lennon on the all-rookie team for Bryant this year after suffering an injury his freshman year. Bilello, started from the minute he stepped on campus at Binghamton. And Brendan O'Keefe had a great year this year. He's in the tournament with Albany. And then Matt Pantorno over at Manhattan. Manhattan had another good year. All excellent players for the Dalers.
Let me take a look at Massapequa's next level guys now.
Well, you got the older Weezerak, Ryan up at UMass. UMass had a very good year. Pettis really transitioned well for Albany, got on the field, has played really well, so he's in the tournament. You got Pat Radomski there, jumps out. Pat Radomski was having a record-breaking year at Siena, putting up ridiculous numbers, was actually on the Tewarton watch list, and then he breaks his foot, which is just, heartbreaking, and it really kind of affected Siena, who was the number 1 seed, who wound up losing to Marist, who won last night. Marist wound up beating our hometown Stony Brook. Yeah, and then Anthony Malika, the lefty at a Hofstra, and I don't want to forget Kevin Fioli there, but Malika had a really nice year there for Hofstra.
You talk about the Tewarton list. There's 2 Long Island boys right there, right? You think of Duffy, you think of Spallina, and that's an award that's given out after the postseason. So, a deep run in May, I think could affect the voters.
I don't think there's any doubt that whoever makes the deepest run is going to win that Tewarton. It's pretty wide open. I think Joey is maybe a little bit of a favorite right now, but when Duffy gets hot and that UNC team is super talented, if they get hot, it could be Duffy's award.
I love their freshman line as well, right?
Oh, yeah. Two out of 3 Long Island guys, right?
That's
the great
right.
Anthony Rayo and Gary Merrill.
Yeah, and they went to high school, like a half a mile away?
Right.
Hills West for Rayo and St. Anthony's for Merrill.
Yeah, and they were summer league teammates, which is really cool. And, they've played really well. They've earned their time there at UNC, not easy to do. And the other guy at UNC is Parker McDonald, the freshman LSM, who's played fantastic for UNC.
Timeout called by Massapequa. As we start to look ahead here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, and our regular season rapidly coming to a close. It will certainly be the case on Saturday with a doubleheader that we have Stepinac and St. Anthony's on the boys' side, and then New Canaan and St. Anthony's girls on the girls' side. How about the St. Anthony's girls? They had a 51-game winning streak, the number 1 team in the country. They go to Darien, and they lose in double overtime. And what does Darcy Messina's team do? They just brush it off, and they start a new streak. Yeah. They have been outstanding this year, taking on a young New Canaan team, but a program that, like the youth program at New Canaan, is awesome. They do a great job there of raising up their lacrosse players the right way, the Long Island way. And Kristen Woods, in her 19th season as head coach at New Canaan, she's come, or the Long Island teams have come to her this year. She's gone there. She's played West Hampton and Massapequa and Manhasset, playing all comers.
Yeah, and I think that's the way to do it. When you have a good team, take them on the road, host great teams, challenge yourself. Your league is your league, but you have a great opportunity in this tri-state area to go out and play some tremendous teams. And Connecticut, on both sides, boys and girls, their public schools, Darien, Staples, Wilton, New Canaan, Richfield, they all do it, and kudos to them.
Emilio denied up high by Big Dom. And, yeah, somehow we've between all the Chaminade and St. Anthony's games that we've covered, we've seen, I think, every one of those teams, except maybe for Ridgefield this year. They're a little bit down, but they've got a kid named Colsey on their team
Oh, there's another Colsey?
There is another, the youngest of the Colsey boys up at Ridgefield. And he's also bound for Carolina. So you've got one at Virginia.
They're taking care of the ACC, aren't they? So they'll have Virginia, Carolina, and Duke.
Yes.
That's kudos to the Colsey parents. That's pretty impressive to have 3 boys play there.
Oh, and that is impressive as well. Burns, another for him, his 4th.
Yeah, Burns using his big body, really has grown into this. His best years may be in front of him at UMass. I mean, he is running well, shooting on the run well, that body control. This attack today for Massapequa is super, super impressive. And Burns has kind of led the way.
And he's got that physicality too, like UMass, and they want to ride and they want to get after it, especially for their attackmen, and he fits that mold as well.
Yeah, we mentioned, he's going with Galgano, 2 guys that really play so hard and do all the dirty work, and I think they'll fit right up there. They call them gorillas up at UMass. They'll be good gorillas, those guys.
Wieserak denied at the doorstep. Inside the final minute of this one, the skip and the high shot, and Big Dom another save. That to deny Kitterman. So the Chiefs right at their season average at 16 goals.
Yeah, I think, it was a funky first half for them, right? A lot of penalties, and what we saw here in the second half is we saw the number 1 team in Class A really show themselves and the best version of themselves. They're going to be a tough out, Dylan.
And Massapequa about to make it back-to-back wins over the Dalers. Farmingdale still has the all-time lead. It's now 41-33, but today it is Massapequa, a tremendous second-half response from the Chiefs, and somehow they hit their season average both in terms of goals and just about at goals against. They are averaging 7.6 goals against on the year. So a big win for Massapequa against their arch rivals.
Yeah, really a great day here celebrating Dylan Milio's sister, Madison, the mighty Madison game. Dylan really came to play. The community came out in strong support of the mighty Madison game, and just a good overall day for the Massapequa lacrosse community.
Time now for our breakout goaltending group save of the game. The save of the game brought to you by Breakout Goaltending Group, Long Island's longest running goalie exclusive training program, serving boys and girls elementary through college age all year round since 2004. Today's breakout save of the game winner receives a certificate good for 1 complimentary lesson with Long Island's finest Breakout Goaltending Group. Visit them online at breakoutgoaltending.com. Tom Rooney, the professor, take it away.
You got Peter Konstantinakis, the lefty, really settled into this game, and we had a number of opportunities to see his work, and this might be one of the better ones there. Stays tall, stays big in the cage, right? Does a really nice job, and he was challenged today. Here's the inside roll. Here's the kick save. Look at the split there. He's got to be a great dancer, Konstantinakis. Right. Great job by him. He is the breakout goaltending save of the game recipient. Good for you.
What, you dance with the plates, right? Like the Greek dance?
Yeah.
So Massapequa, they improved to 12-2 on the year. And Tom, we've surveyed this whole landscape in big boy Nassau Class A lacrosse, and these Chiefs, they're defending champions, and they are at this point of the year the favorite among that group of 4.
Yeah, you look at the way they're built, very good at the face-off backs with Chavis, getting good goaltending play with Konstantinakos, and then you have that tremendous offense, and it's almost like the defense hurt us, right? And they came out and played so well with the Gilchrist boys, Ippolito, O'Connor, Farrell, who's fantastic. They play a number of D-middies. Just this team is built to win, and they're going to be a very, very tough out.
Well, it was a renewal of a rivalry here at Massapequa, and Quinn Sunday had something to say early on for the Dalers. So did J.J. Damo, the Fogo goal. But here comes Tucker. A little toe drag, scoop and score. He would have himself a game. So would Nolan Wieserak with 4. Tucker and Wieserak with 4 apiece. And there is Burns, baby Burns. Tyler with 4 as well, as it is all Massapequa today in this rivalry showdown. For our entire Varsity Media crew, our executive producer / part-time cameraman over at Port Washington, Ben Turchin. Go Knicks. For our technical director, Chris Sweeney. Go Cubs. For our camera operator, Jeff Damo. For my broadcast partner, Tom Rooney. Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us from Massapequa. We look forward to seeing you next time right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.